how do you get your events sponsored? Because why pay if you don't have to? We know that the wholesalers have pretty big pockets, but what's the best way to work with them to get them to sponsor your event?
Best way is to have a relationship with them and build that relationship with them by doing business with them. Those are really the first ones you want to approach, and make sure you're developing, continuing the relationship with them outside of selling their products. Take them to lunch, talk to them, answer their calls, and have that communication line open. So then when you want to ask for marketing support, they're not going to come back and say, boy, we haven't talked in a while. We don't have any business going on. Call me later.
How do you ask it? Like, how should an advisor word that? Just call them up, go right into the question? Do you kind of talk about business first?
A few ways. One, when you start developing the relationship with the wholesaler, you want to let them know that it's a two-way street. You know, you would like to consider their products for your clients' portfolios. You know, you do education events. You would love to know what presentations they have. Do they have anybody from home office coming out to speak? Because there are often events that you can, or you can build an event around someone, a great speaker coming into town. Then there's letting them know you do events and you'd love to have the marketing support. So there's several different ways you can do that. So once you've addressed that, when you're talking about the relationship, jump right in. Hey, hope you're doing well. Wanted to ask you a question. I'm looking to create a economic summit in October. Was wondering if you had anything in your marketing budget that we might be able to apply to the event. And then they'll come back to you and say, yes, absolutely, but I have to speak or I have to be present. And then you just build your event around that.
Haley, you've worked with some wholesalers as you're coordinating an event. What are things that they need to know about the event to sponsor it?
I mean, they just need to know all the details. So what's the purpose of the event? I mean, where's it at? What's the location? Like, just every little detail behind it.
When should you be asking wholesalers about sponsoring your events? Is there a specific time of year that you should be reaching out to them? Or is there a specific amount of time before the event? Or maybe both?
I wouldn't reach out unless you have a concrete event. Like, we're hosting a women's brunch on February 15th. You don't want to reach out in December and say, hey, I'm thinking of hosting a February event. Is there money in the budget? You can still maybe, warm up the conversation in a casual way, but they're going to say, well, when you have a plan, let me know. Because you're not going to say, they're not going to allocate money to something that's not concrete. And that being said, I always ask or contact the wholesalers when I know the event. So if I have things planned out 6 months, then go for it.
A lot of times wholesalers can't sponsor something unless they're speaking. Is there a way, like if I'm trying to host an event that is personal only, I don't want it to be educational necessarily, is there a way I can get around having a wholesaler speak, or at least not give an educational speech?
It's case by case. It really is. Every wholesaler's compliance department is different. Some require that they speak, that they absolutely speak, and you have to talk to the wholesaler, because that could be a quick introduction. Hey, I'd like to just introduce so-and-so. They are sponsoring our event.
How much can an advisor expect to receive from a wholesaler?
Gosh, I've seen everything from $250 to thousands, 7,000-8,000. I mean, it depends on the relationship, and ultimately it depends on how much business you put through, because they usually do X amount per AUM. So if they put in written business for 10,000, then it's a percentage of that.
Mhm.
And that's how they calculate. And sometimes they can fudge a little bit.
One thing I will say that I've seen is if you can get the sponsor to pay at the event with their card, they tend to give you more. A lot of times they'll just cover the bill, whereas if they're sending you a check, it's for a specific amount. So if able to get them to pay at the event,
Yeah.
do that.